Ace Frehley, the legendary founding guitarist of the iconic rock band Kiss, is currently hospitalized and on life support, a heartbreaking development that has sent shockwaves through the music world. The man who once soared on stage as the spaceman, mesmerizing millions with his cosmic energy, blistering solos, and electrifying stage presence, now lies in a hospital bed, connected to machines that are keeping him alive. Sources close to the musician have revealed that the situation is grim. A couple of weeks ago, Ace suffered a brain bleed after taking a fall in his studio, an accident that changed everything in a matter of seconds. What initially seemed like a routine injury quickly became something far more serious. Despite medical intervention and the tireless efforts of doctors, his condition has not improved. He has been on a ventilator for an extended period, and family members, deeply emotional yet trying to remain composed, are now facing the agonizing possibility of having to say goodbye. For a man whose life was defined by movement, the strut across the stage, the whipping of his hair under blinding lights, the lift of his guitar as fans screamed, the image of Ace Frehley lying still in a hospital bed feels unbearably cruel. The fall, which happened during what was supposed to be a creative period in his studio, forced him to cancel his tour dates. Initially, fans were told not to worry. On September 25th, his official Instagram page released a statement saying, "He is fine, but against his wishes. His doctor insists that he refrain from travel at this time." The tone was lighthearted, even reassuring, suggesting that Ace's indomitable spirit would soon have him back on stage where he belonged. But just a week later, another post appeared. This one was much shorter, far less optimistic. Due to some ongoing medical issues, Ace has made the difficult decision to cancel the remainder of his 2025 dates. For longtime followers of Frehley's career, those words carried a weight that felt different, a quiet alarm beneath the surface. As rumors began to swirl across social media, some fans feared the worst. Posts circulated claiming that the 74-year-old rocker had already passed away. But those close to him insisted that, as of Thursday afternoon, Ace was still alive, though still on the ventilator. The family was reportedly considering a heartbreaking decision, whether to continue life support or let nature take its course. It's the kind of moment that no family wants to face, especially when the person in question has lived such a monumental life, touching millions through music, laughter, and inspiration. To understand why this moment has hit fans so hard, one has to look back at who Ace Frehley truly was, and what he meant not only to Kiss but to rock and roll itself. Born Paul Daniel Frehley on April 27, 1951, in the Bronx, New York, Ace grew up in a working-class family that didn't necessarily see a future in music for him. But the moment he picked up a guitar, something clicked. His connection to the instrument felt instinctive, as though the strings were an extension of his soul. By the early 1970s, his journey intersected with three other hungry dreamers, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Peter Criss, and together they would form Kiss, a band that didn't just play music but created a universe. They didn't want to be another rock group. They wanted to be larger than life, a living comic book of fire, makeup, and pure spectacle. And at the heart of that cosmic fantasy stood Ace, the spaceman, the quiet but rebellious spirit with lightning fingers and a twinkle of danger in his eyes. From 1973 to 1982, Ace's guitar work became synonymous with the sound of Kiss. Songs like Detroit Rock City, Rock and Roll All Night, and I Was Made for Lovin' You carried his fingerprints. Blistering solos, raw emotion, and an otherworldly tone that every kid in the 70s wanted to replicate. His presence brought balance to the band's explosive chemistry. Where Gene Simmons exuded demonic energy and Paul Stanley embodied charisma, Ace was the enigma, mysterious, funny, a little reckless, but completely irreplaceable. Fans loved him for that mix of charm and chaos. He was the kind of rock star who didn't seem to care about being perfect. He cared about being real. Yet behind the smoke and lights, Ace struggled. Fame came fast, and with it came the darker side of success. The excess, the pressure, the endless touring, it all took its toll. Ace's battles with alcohol and drugs became well known, and those close to him worried about his self-destructive tendencies. In 1982, after years of internal tension and creative clashes with Simmons and Stanley, Ace decided to walk away from Kiss. It was a decision that broke hearts, but also marked the beginning of his evolution as an individual artist. He was determined to prove that he could stand on his own. In 1984, Ace launched his solo project, Frehley's Comet. a name that perfectly captured his cosmic identity. The band was short-lived, lasting until 1988, but during that time, Ace rediscovered himself. His solo work didn't just showcase his musical ability, it revealed his humor, humility, and deep love for the craft. Songs like Into the Night and his hit cover of New York. Groove became anthems for fans who followed him beyond Kiss. They saw in Ace a man who had fallen but always got back up. Someone who refused to be defined by the mistakes of the past. When Kiss announced their 1996 reunion tour, fans were ecstatic to see Ace return. The original four were back together, makeup and all, bringing nostalgia to a new generation. For a while, it felt like time had turned back. Ace's solos once again echoed through sold-out arenas, and his mischievous grin reminded everyone why they fell in love with him in the first place. But as the years went by, old tensions resurfaced. By 2002, Ace left Kiss once more, this time for good. While Gene and Paul continued with new members, Ace remained a beloved figure in the Kiss legacy, a reminder of its golden era, the heart of its magic. Over the years, Frehley continued performing, releasing albums and making appearances. Despite aging and facing health struggles, he never lost the spark that made him unique. Fans often described him as humble, funny, and approachable, a rock god who never forgot where he came from. His autograph sessions and meet and greets were filled with laughter, stories, and his trademark Bronx charm. Even as he navigated the challenges of sobriety and recovery, Ace spoke openly about his past mistakes, using his story to inspire others who struggled with addiction. He was proof that it was never too late to change, to start over, to heal. And that's what makes the news of his current condition so devastating. For those who grew up with Kiss posters on their walls, Ace Frehley isn't just a guitarist. He's a piece of their youth. He represents a time when rock and roll was untamed, unapologetic, and loud enough to drown out the noise of the world. To think of him lying unconscious, dependent on machines, feels impossible. It's as if the universe itself has dimmed a little. Social media has since been flooded with messages from fans, friends, and fellow musicians. Some share photos from concerts decades ago, others recount personal encounters. A handshake, a signed record, a few words exchanged that left a lasting memory. The love pouring in for Ace is overwhelming, a testament to the impact he's had across generations. Guitarists from all walks of life credit him as their inspiration, citing the way his solos made them fall in love with the instrument. Rock legends, from Slash to Dave Grohl, have spoken about how Ace's sound defined what it meant to be a true rock guitarist. Not technically perfect, but emotionally raw. While his family keeps vigil by his bedside, doctors continue to monitor his condition, but the updates remain grim. The brain bleed has caused significant damage, and the hope that he might recover is fading. The medical team has done everything possible, but time is proving to be an unforgiving adversary. Friends close to the family describe the atmosphere as heavy with sadness, a mixture of grief and disbelief. Some family members reportedly still hold out hope for a miracle, while others are beginning to accept the inevitable. The decision to potentially withdraw life support is being weighed with love, compassion, and the understanding that Ace, a man who lived life on his own terms, might not have wanted to linger in such a state.